If I was starting over today, these are the 5 herbs, plus of course a bonus one, that I would plant in my herb garden. Hello friend, I'm Sandler. Welcome to my channel. I'm an herbalist, a creative, and basically a witch in the best sense of the word, because I love making magical herbal potions, and I'm so excited to share with you today my top 5 favorite herbs, and it's extremely hard to narrow it down as essentially these are perennials, so herbs that will come back year after year that I would recommend if you are starting a garden or you already have one and you want to grow it even bigger. These are the herbs that you need to put in there because they have so many beneficial ways we can use them, connect to them, magical ways as well as medicinal, and I just want everyone to have a magical herb garden as well because it can bring you so much joy, so much medicine, and so much healing. The first herb that I'd recommend growing in your garden is rosemary, and she's one of my all-time faves. She is such a grandmother spirit, and she has such a beautiful magical history as well as medicinal and culinary. Like, it's so beautiful to have herbs that you have grown yourself in the food that you eat, and to cook with her is just so amazing. But then you can also use her for protection. She's such a powerful protective plant. You can either hang her in your home, or you could also use her as a smoke bundle to burn and cleanse your energy and cleanse and protect your space. She's also incredible as an infused oil. I love to infuse her. I make the crone oil in my apothecary, which I'll link below, and it's just so nourishing, especially for your hair and also to help grow your hair. Like, rosemary is incredible. I would recommend buying a transplant, like buying a starter, because she is pretty hard to start from seed, but not impossible. But if you're just starting out, just go to the grocery store or wherever and find a little rosemary plant, and she will just continue to grow and become a giant bush eventually. So it's incredible, really, some of these perennials, how much they'll grow if you keep loving them and keep tending to them over the years. Okay, so the second plant is chamomile, and chamomile, don't we all just love chamomile? She smells incredible. It's kind of like this green apple smell when you touch her leaves. And first of all, chamomile can be really overpriced to buy even in bulk, like the dried flowers, so feels so abundant and luxurious to have it available to you in your garden. She is so lovely, as you probably know, as a tea, either combined with other herbs or just on her own, to really help you to relax in the evening and have a really restful, deep sleep. She's also known as a companion plant, so she essentially, wherever she is in your garden, she will help the other plants grow better. Like, isn't that amazing? So even if you're not super into having your own herb garden, maybe just sprinkle some chamomile plants around your fruits and veg or your other herbs or flowers that you're growing now. She's also so soothing and sweet and is incredible infused into oil and made into a salve or a balm or a cream. She can just really help with any irritations or itchiness or skin issues, and it's just so nourishing for the skin. I love her. Of course, I have to include lavender because she is the best and she is so versatile and accessible. I'm really trying to share today some plants that are really accessible that you're probably already familiar with, but maybe aren't aware of all the incredible ways that you can connect to these plants. And so lavender, my herbalism teacher Story likes to call her a dragon because it's like she is covert, like she's so powerful, has so many medicinal properties, and yet she's hidden in plain sight, and she can be used in so many different ways by all different kinds of people, from babies to elders to anyone in between. My personal favorite, again, I'm kind of obsessed with infused oils because it's so nourishing, and of course her scent is just so delicious. Really classic way is to put a little sachet of lavender under your pillow or hang some in your home, or you could also gift some of the lavender that you grow to friends or family, or adorn different gifts that you make with the lavender. I love to do that with everything that I make for my apothecary. Lavender really lets us become creative with our herbal creations and potions, and really helps us to experiment. You know, we could make her into a tincture, we could make her into an essence, we could make her into a salve, which the salve is probably the thing I use the most from lavender, and it's just so soothing and healing, especially if you have something that's maybe like a cut or something that's irritating you. She is similar to chamomile, she's just very soothing. Also make different lavender flavored like jams, or sprinkle her over. Sometimes I'll sprinkle some in my cacao or smoke some. Like, the ways that you can connect to lavender are so endless, and I feel like she is just such an essential plant to have in your garden. Next plant is thyme. And thyme to me is one of my most favorite culinary herbs that I put in like everything. And she's just so lovely to sprinkle on top of things, to cook with. But she's also really powerfully medicinally, especially when you have a cold or a flu or something respiratory. She can really help, especially with a steam inhalation. So essentially pouring boiling water into a bowl with some fresh thyme or even dry thyme, and then putting a towel over your head and letting the steam move through you. That can help a lot with congestion or a really mucousy cough or anything, any kind of cough or respiratory thing. Thyme is so supportive, and that's what's so amazing too, is to have these, you know, simple, kind of casual, mundane herbs in our garden that can actually be so supportive for us when we're not feeling 100%, when we're unwell, or for our family members as well. And you can also infuse thyme into honey, which is so delicious, and can also be used when you're feeling unwell to really support you too. And of course, thyme and rosemary can be put in the most amazing chicken broth, which if you know me, you know I love my matzo ball soup. And yeah, it's just so fun to feel like a witch and stir up your cauldron, aka your pot of soup, with all these magical plant friends and animal friends inside. And I feel like those are the most potent healing potions, is when it's combining all the different earth medicines, the ancestral medicine, and especially when you've grown them yourself. Okay, last one, and this is potentially my most favorite plant ever, which is really hard to choose one, but it's probably mugwort, because I love her so much. And I also like, my most favorite is coastal mugwort, coastal sagewort, that grows wild here on the west coast of Canada. And mugwort is the witch's herb. She's also just like the dreaming herb. So, you know, she's been used in traditional Chinese medicine for many, many years medicinally. For me personally, I love connecting to her in these more energetic ways. Like, I love to burn mugwort either as a smoke wand or just her leaves to really cleanse your energy, help you enter into channeling states or meditative states. She's also, you know, if you hang her next to your bed or in your home, she can really amplify your dream realm. So just be aware if you do that, because you'll definitely notice it. Of course, my most favorite way to connect to her is through an infused oil, and if you're gonna make any kind of infused oil, I would recommend mugwort oil, because there's just something about it where it's just so deeply relaxing and nourishing, yet protective, which is the best part of putting an oil on your body. And then you can also have her in a tea or in different rituals to really connect to your dream space and receive more messages in your dreams. And one more bonus herb for you is mint, because if you're someone who feels like you can't grow anything and you always kill plants or they just never will stay alive, grow mint, because mint is so resilient and she just wants to spread everywhere, just like lemon balm, like everything in the mint family. I'm talking more of like peppermint, spearmint, these different mints. And it's so easy. You can just take some of the fresh leaves and make a tea. Like, it's super accessible. Or you can also dry them and and jar the leaves to have as a tea later. You could also make an infused oil and then make lip balm, like a peppermint lip balm with her. There's lots of ways you could connect to mint, but my personal fave is to just take some fresh leaves, put it in a salad or put it in some tea, and it's so great. But make sure that you are putting it in a pot because it will take over your whole garden if you don't. I do want to say that these are my favorite plants to grow, and I live on the west coast of Canada, so it really depends on where you live, and there's probably different native plants that would grow way better in whatever zone you're in. So look into what growing zone you're in and what does well also in the soil that you live in. I have a tendency to not research too much because it can feel overwhelming, and to just learn, by trying. So just get the plants that call to you and see what happens, because you'll learn so much just through the process of growing them. The last thing I want to say for any other witchy souls watching this video is that a lot of us have plants that we essentially have soul contracts with, just like for humans. Like, say you have someone who you feel like is a soulmate, or you feel like you've experienced a past life with them before. We also have that with plants and animals, and I've especially felt this with some of the ones I have tattooed on me. It feels like a remembrance, like an old friend, like a being that I've known before this life. And so kind of explore the different plants, and maybe these are the ones I feel really connected to, but maybe you have some plants that I've never even heard of that your soul is calling for you to connect to. So please, go for the plants that resonate with you and excite and interest you, or maybe their medicine really is calling to you and that's what you're needing right now, and then I'm sure you will be reconnected to the perfect plant friends in your garden. Please, thank you so much, and I'd love to hear in the comments, what are you growing in your garden right now, and which plants from this video do you resonate with? Which ones are you already friends with, or are you going to plant in your garden this year? And yeah, I'm wishing you all the blessings in having a thriving, abundant, medicinal garden, and until my next video, many blessings.